Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning in studio. We speak with Assemblyman Naill George, Assistant Secretary in the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. As you are aware, we're heading into October Carnival 2024, and so we're going to have a little bit of conversation around that this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning.
Right. And so Carnival is right around the corner. You know, just this morning I was speaking with Adanna, who brought the news this morning, and she mentioned she started seeing signage on the western part of Tobago. And, you know, we're expecting to see a rollout of more signage, more branding on the island, you know, to bring up the hype and the awareness that Carnival is happening. Right. And so, of course, we want to see these things because, of course, we want to attract people both locally and internationally here on the island, with pre-events already taking place and people enjoying what is happening on the island of Tobago. What I want to talk about this morning is a couple of weeks ago we had some of the agencies coming in and talking about the preparedness in terms of having the space you know, properly prepared for the carnival, looking at the risks that are involved and ensuring that the arms are there to support, whether you have the command center, whether you have the EMA team is on board. So where are we where that is concerned in terms of providing a safe space for carnival here on the island?
Okay, well, I'm very proud to say that we have had many security meetings. So there were, leading up to the carnival, there were plans being put in place and implemented. All of the security stakeholders have been involved. We have had the police, we've had fire, we have health, TEMA, EMA. So we want to not only have a successful carnival in terms of numbers, but our priority is to keep the Tobago Carnival the safest carnival on the planet.
Absolutely, and it is absolutely necessary for that to happen because we know when people are reveling, you know, you lose your inhibitions and you might, you know. So we're happy to know that we have that under control and we can move forward with enjoying the carnival. Now, $9 million allocated as a budget for carnival, with $2 million being allocated to stakeholders. And I think you mentioned in a press conference that the $2 million will be dispersed by Monday, the 21st.
It is anticipated that we will have a check distribution on Monday so that the stakeholders would receive monies to pay their bills and do their stuff.
And who are some of the stakeholders who are expected to receive from this $2 million disbursement?
So that would be TUCO, band leaders, TOCA, the Band Leaders Association, Trinbago, Tobago region, and those are the main ones that would be receiving interventions from us.
All right. And in terms of, I know one of the issues that was in the atmosphere and in the air is about flights to Tobago. Caribbean Airlines and the flight situation that we have from January to December year after year. And so we've heard that they've added flights for the carnival season. And I know you had your thoughts about this in terms of how that was done. So, you know, talk us through where we are, where flights are concerned and the relationship with Cal.
So there has been a gradual increase in the flights, but to me that's just a drop in the bucket. And the flights aren't announced. From prior years, they would have added flights, but very late. We need the flights to be added earlier so that persons could plan, especially international flights, because unlike in the Tobago space, most persons in the international space would have to record their vacations from as early as the 1st of January. And our carnival is in October. So that would be very advanced plan. That would need very advanced planning. So the timing in which some of the flights are added it's not good enough, but also we need more flights. And I'm very happy that you spoke about it as a year-round issue because we are constantly in conversations with Cal about increasing the number of flights. If you could recall, very early after the COVID situation, we as the THA offered to pay to keep the airports open and Cal had the flights. Nothing came out of that. But if you are someone that has to travel, you would see the situation, many Tobagonians sitting in Trinidad waiting to get at home, many Trinidadians on the airport trying to get back home as well. And to me, that says that there's a demand. I don't understand why flights aren't being added. Probably the business escapes me, but I'm just saying that if an airline runs at 65% ridership, it's profitable. And I am absolutely positive because I cannot tell the last time I've traveled on a flight and seen an empty seat. So over to Cal. And to add to that as well, I find that the representatives for Tobago East and West are really quiet on this issue. And we would like, I mean, they are representatives of Tobagonians as well, and we would like them to join with us in terms of securing more flights for our people.
And you're right, not just for Carnival, because after Carnival, we still have to live.
Exactly.
We have to travel to Trinidad for business, for medical reasons, for school. There's so many things we can't access in Tobago that we have to go for in Trinidad, including recreation. People from Trinidad come to Tobago. So we're losing business as well, not just the flights, you know, and the inconvenience. I have suffered through inconvenience at the Piarco International Airport as well. And so I'm hoping this conversation will go just beyond this period, this season where we're planning for Carnival. Thank you for adding the flights, yes, but can we have it on a continuous basis? And I hope the conversation will push so that from year round we will be having these flights. As you rightfully said, somebody planning from an international standpoint, if they can't see that a flight is available, they're not going to book. And we're going to lose that business, you know. And I saw a social media post where Assemblyman Faith, she was showing over a period of time where there are no seats, there are no seats, there are no seats. You know, she kept logging on to Cal to see where there are seats. And then eventually she saw someone, she said, you better book it quick because you never know what can happen. And we don't want to be living like this. So I'm really challenging the persons who are in authority, including yourself, where you have the position of power, where you could continue the conversation. And I like that you invited the MPs for Tobago East and West to join in the conversation and to advocate, because we don't want to have a situation where we have a good product here on the island of Tobago and we can't sell it because, I mean, it's only 60,000 of us here and we enjoy it, yes, but we want people to come and taste it too, right?
And to add to that, Ms. Combie, we receive jabs and blows about advertising sometime, about marketing sometime, and really and truly marketing is about getting empty seats filled, and there aren't empty seats. So it would be just pouring on. So from that aspect, we would have to use reduce some of that marketing money and use it in other aspects of the carnival, because as you say, if you have 10,000 more people wanting to come here, where are the seats? Where are the flights? How are we going to get them to and from the island? So sometimes when I hear some of the blows on marketing, I shake my head in terms of where it is pointed.
And I see one of our viewers on our Facebook live stream is saying, it's crazy. My family wants to come home for Christmas, but there are no flights to Tobago. And we're in October. So, I mean, I know we're focusing on Carnival now, but the conversation has to continue. And I'm really hoping we've sat here year after year talking about Cal. And I really want to drive the point home that we must have some type of intervention to allow that kind of interaction between the islands for people to get to Tobago and also to Trinidad when they need to get there back and forth without having to suffer through sitting on the airport not certain. I mean, from somebody from Tobago to Trinidad, they'll stay and wait and stand by because they have to come home. But somebody leaving the US or leaving wherever they are coming from, they don't have to suffer through. They could choose, they could decide if they want to do it or not. So we're going to have that conversation. So that is where we are with flights for Carnival, and moving forward, the conversation will continue. In terms of your position in the division of tourism, how do you feel about where we are for Carnival in terms of readiness? We spoke about security and all of that, but in terms of people buying into the product, the event itself, what is it feeling like and sounding like in your division?
Well, any carnival is an exciting time and exciting period. I myself went to Runaway yesterday for work purposes as well, just to look at the number of patrons, the number of persons that came out, and that's the middle of the week, and Tobagonians is usually doing party in the middle of the week, and the number of persons that I saw there signals that we are ready. The season has started, and it's going to be an excellent season. This carnival, October Tobago Carnival, has immense economic value to Tobago. We are expecting upwards of 30,000 persons to come onto the island. The Port Authority has added additional sailings to facilitate the carnival, and at a very conservative spend, if you have 30,000 persons coming to the island and they spend $1,000, and that's a very conservative spend. That's $30 million coming onto the island. So we see the value that the carnival has, and I'm absolutely positive we're going to pretty much start off the carnival week with Blue Food, which we will speak about later. And the activities that are going to happen on the island will drum up much excitement, and I expect much involvement. And again, the basis of the Tobago Carnival and the most important thing of the Tobago Carnival is safety. We started those safety meetings with ACP Hazel, pretty much heading those. We have had a seamless transition to ACP Sobero. Mr. ACP Hazel still is involved in the planning, but fortnightly we started monthly, but they are now fortnightly as the festival is getting nearer, because as I said before, and I will continue to drive home, we want you all to have fun, but we want everyone to have safe fun.
Absolutely, because it is very, very important. I mean, on Monday morning, you have to go to work, right? You have to drop the children to school. So you want to be safe. You don't want to hear of any incidents where you have to be dealing with situations. And I hope that the TTPS, have positioned themselves in such a way to deal with things that can happen as it relates to reveling taking place there on the streets from Friday. I know, as I'm mentioning Friday, I know the Mud is Alive was moved from Saturday to Friday. So tell us a little bit about that transition.
Okay, well, on Saturday, there's Rhythm, Steel and Powder, which is the Tobago region event, and there's also Night Mass. And Mud was carded to be on Saturday as well. That would have caused a very congested Saturday night. So conversations we had with the promoters of Mud is Life to bring Mud to Friday, which would create a situation where Friday would pretty much be Mud is Life, Mud Night. The intention is for us in Tobago to have Mud as Jab is to Grenada. Right? And if that is the situation, we have to be more specific and more careful in the way that we approach the situation. And I would like to say a hearty thank you to the Mud is Life promoters for moving the event in such notice. And we have to push and help them to get things ready for Friday night. Now, it was not Mud's fault that it has to be moved, and I know a lot of persons would have planned for Saturday night, and for we apologize for the late movement, but the move was necessary for the overall success of the carnival, not only this year, but going forward.
And I like what you said, that you want Mud to be to Tobago what Jab is to Grenada. So it causes a focus, an intentional focus, to ensure that it's a separate product that can be marketed in that way. So, I'm in agreement with the individualized event itself with the focus on Mud.
And the time of the Mud is Life event now allows for persons to go to the Mud and then transition into their bands for Juvie, because it would start at pretty much 11 p.m. Friday and finish before the Juvie.
Absolutely good planning and good thoughts going into that there. As it relates to Carnival, is there anything else that we need to know of that you want to share before we wrap up?
So we would have Soca Titans on Wednesday at Market Square, 7 p.m. We then move on to Tuco Calypso Finals at Magdalena Grand on Thursday. We have the Monarchs of Mass on Friday, the 25th, starting at 8 p.m. once again at Market Square. Well, I let the cut out the hat with the Rhythm, Steel and Powder, but I would start at 5 p.m. proceeding from Coast Guard Base up to Market Square. That would finish at around 8:30, and then we would then have Night Mass starting at 9 p.m. finishing at 2 a.m. And then Sunday, well, we have the big hurrah where we have the creme de la creme, where we have conventional mass starting at 10 a.m.
Good rundown there for the Carnival week, and of course partygoers and persons who are participating and supporting. You have a packed week there of activities, and I do hope that you come out in your numbers to support what is being produced by the Tobago Festivals Commission and the Division of Tourism there, and all the promoters here on the island of Tobago, a beautiful Carnival product. So come out in your numbers and be a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversation. This morning we're going to stay with Assemblyman Naill George as we talk about Blue Food Festival. But before we start that, we go for a break, and we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning in studio with Assemblyman Naill George, Assistant Secretary in the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities, and Transportation. We were talking about Carnival, which takes place from next week. Of course, the pre-events have already begun here on the island of Tobago. And before we switch gears a little bit, I think there's a little bit more information we want to share before we move on to our next topic.
Yes, in keeping with safety, we all have to be very respectful and understanding of using one space. And the EMA has a very zero tolerance approach to noise pollution, and there would be some safe zones along the route. Now, the route would start at Coast Guard Base, head towards the Orange Hill traffic lights, then to the Wilson Road traffic lights, back into Scarborough to Market Square, then you turn right, and then you head down Old Wilson Road to the Coast Guard Base. There's a specific zone between what is known as yachts and off to the highway, and that is to facilitate no disturbances to the hospital. We have to take care of our sick. The health of Tobagonians is paramount, and there will be zero tolerance to noise pollution in this area. So the decibels will have to go down, and we all must understand the reason for that. We want, as I said, we want to have fun, we want to have clean fun, and we don't want any casualties coming out of the Carnival festivities. So please have consideration for those that are in the hospital and adhere to the EMA rules.
Please and thank you, and I really appreciate that this thought was put into that as well. So let us adhere to what has been established so that we can have a good time. We don't want to be kept back because of disobedience to the rules that have been set. All right, so we're shifting gears a little bit, and we want to talk about Blue Food Festival, which is upcoming, taking place on Sunday in Bloody Bay there. Blue Food, I think, is a pillar on the island of Tobago. The festival, has grown year after year, and we're in a good place this year, and I want to talk about what can be expected that is happening for Tobago Blue Food Festival this year.
Blue food, what more can you see? You're going to have culinary culture, you're going to have farmers displaying their produce, and there would be many competitions. But Blue Food is not just about the actual Bloody Bay site, it's about the journey to the site. As the chief says, you would be moving along the better side of the island, many picturesque beaches, and we have taken advantage of that by putting down picture spots in the villages on the way to Blue Food. So I'd be taking my family. I would advise most people to take their family as well. Have a treat, capture moments along the way, and when you get there, you would then be feasted to the many varieties of products and produce and culinary foods that can be produced from the king of tubers, the Dasheen. There would be competition and activities, so there would be activities for the kids such as bouncy castles and petting zoos. There would be Dasheen competition, the best Dasheen cake, the best Dasheen wine, best Dasheen pie, best Dasheen drink, best Dasheen dish, best Dasheen booth. There would also be competitions for the crowd. Best dressed male, best dressed female. So please dress to impress because you will be judged. There would also be the biggest Blue Food posse. So yeah, encouraging you all to come out in your numbers, dress and represent where you come from, come out, have a good time. And again, safety is paramount to us. So don't have too much fun because the drive is a lengthy one. So if you are having a drink, please keep it within the allowable limit because you would have to go home or designate a driver. Designating a driver would be the safest option, of course. There are also village farmers competition, which is the biggest Dasheen, that's by weight, and the biggest bunch of planting by weight as well. And there's a competition for the biggest crayfish catch.
Wow, wow. So I've seen a lot of attractions here for Blue Food, and I want to go back a little bit to when you said the journey to Bloody Bay is also part of the festival, where you'll be putting photo spots
along the way.
So tell us a little bit about the photo spots and what people can look out for on the way up.
So they would be strategically placed with in some of the most scenic backgrounds that you have. You look around the place, you see the scenes of Palatavie, of Castara, of Englishman's Bay, and without there having a Blue Food Festival, tourists who come here naturally flock to these spots to have photographs, to get a slice of Tobago that they can keep with them when they go back. So we are encouraging each and every one of us. Sometimes when you have something easily accessible to you, you forget how
You take it for
beautiful
granted.
it is. So I'm saying to us Tobagonians and to others coming here, let us enjoy this weekend. Go to the Blue Food festivities and have a good time.
So is there going to be like signs, stop here, take a photo here? Is it going to be like
There are
that?
Blue Food signs
Right.
where you would be able to
Stop and take photo.
take a photo on the Blue Food ring.
That is absolutely amazing. A good idea there, of course. You know, for us, as you rightfully said, sometimes we take things for granted. You might be
Yes,
thinking,
indeed.
listen, I have to get to Blue Food and I'm just driving all the way up.
Yeah.
And it's good that you've provided that avenue where people can stop and take a photo. For memory's sake, you look back and you say, let me see what Blue Food 2024 was like, the way up to Blue Food there. In terms of I know the driving up and the driving back down. I know you spoke about safety. I want you to reiterate the importance of persons driving up and driving back down, especially on the road. You know, it's not a straight road. And so we have to be very cautious in how we're going to get there. Some people try to get there as early as possible to get a good park. Some people rush and, you know, so I want you to address the situation of driving to and from the Blue Food.
And just like Carnival, in terms of Blue Food, we'd like everyone to get to the Blue Food Festival safely and return to their destinations and their homes safely. Safety is paramount, so there'll be shuttles, because obviously everyone cannot park at Bloody Bay. There'll be shuttles to get you directly into the venue from Bloody Bay and back out. And we are asking persons to be kind and considerate of each other when driving on the road. Please be careful. It's a windy road. So if you know that you want to get there for a certain time, leave home earlier. Please don't have us rushing there. And please do not overdo the drinking of alcohol. We know in our culture, it's part of our culture, but please do it in moderation.
And talking about the shuttles, what time, where can people pick up shuttles from? Do you have that information for us now? Or?
No, I do not have the direct information, but it's usually done from Bloody Bay.
Okay. All right. So you can access that service as well, just in case you want to, you know, enjoy yourself, and just make sure that you utilize the infrastructure that is put in place to ensure your safety there at Bloody Boat. Some of the attractions in terms of, I know there's going to be an artist.
Yes.
So, of course, people are going for the entertainment part of it as well. You know, the Blue Food production, because I call it a production, is a really, really good one for the island of Tobago, and I'm hoping that the Blue Food Festival could really expand into something that is much greater than what it is already, great as it is, where you have the display of all the local foods there. But in terms of the artists, people go for that as well, for the entertainment aspect of it. So who can we expect to be gracing the stages? I know we saw some stuff on social media, but who can we expect to see?
So first of all, there'll be many local artists. It's too many to name here. So, but the head acts would be Nadia Batson and band.
I know some people are very, very excited to hear that name. I know she has a lot of followers here on the island of Tobago. And so we look forward to, you know, a great production. What are you looking forward to the most in terms of the attendance at Blue Food Festival?
Well, traditionally, it's a trip. It's an event. It's an opportunity to go to the north side of the island. In terms of the entertainment, I have developed a keen eye for the local talent coming out of Tobago. So that's the part that I'm most looking forward to. I was at the Soca Titans audition. I've personally seen Miss Phillips working with them at the boot camp, and if anyone could remember, after working with Miss Phillips, the level of performances were raised, the standard, the bar was raised. So I'm looking forward to Soca Titans as well. So there are little things that most people aren't observant to that I have now become keenly attracted to.
A good eye there. That's not what I was expecting, but I'm happy to realize that you're actually looking for what is local to Tobago and how we could develop the art form and the people here on the island of Tobago. So I'll be looking also to see what they're bringing to the stage. I know we have a lot of talent on the island of Tobago, and so I'm looking forward to a good day at Blue Food Festival. And just in case you were wondering, yes, I will be there on Sunday to enjoy the Blue Food Festival this year. I haven't been in so many years, and I'm looking forward to what is happening there. In closing, is there anything additional you'd like to share with us?
I'd just like to say to all Tobagoans in this festive season, again, I'd like us to have an enjoyable time, but I'd like each and every one of us to come out of this time in proper health and keep the Carnival safe, have an enjoyable time. To our international guests, come have a slice of our culture, come have a slice of our beauty, come have a slice of our Carnival, so that when you go back, you can tell others about it and invite them to come to Carnival 2025.
Thank you so much, Assemblyman Naill George. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Assemblyman Naill George, Assistant Secretary in the Division of Tourism, Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, as we speak about Carnival 2024 and the Blue Food Festival, which is upcoming on Sunday and then next week. Thank you so much for staying with us as we went through this conversation this morning, and we do hope you can continue to stay with us as we speak more in studio this morning. But before we head on to our next interview, we have to go for a short break, and we invite you and all of your friends to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Blue food came from dasheen locally. We look at dasheen, which when you boil it, you get a blue coloration.
Are you ready for Tobago Blue Food Festival 2024? Join us on October 20th for an unforgettable celebration of Tobago's unique cuisine. Enjoy live cooking demonstrations, local music, and cultural performances throughout the day. This festival has something for every palate. It's all happening October 20th in Bloody Bay. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info and make sure you're part of this one-of-a-kind culinary event.